Okay, today we are going to do another one take banger. Just going to let you know all about these Mizuno shoes that just came out, the Prototype Pure, the Prototype Elite. Mizuno has entered the chat for the F1 racers. Yeah, super fast. I'm going to compare them to each other. I'm going to compare them to other shoes and give you an idea of what it feels like. So if they hit the market, then you'll know what to expect and who these shoes complement the best. So we're gonna start with the Elite. I found a perfect comparison from another shoe that you're probably familiar with. So this shoe comes in at 5.9 ounces, which is 168 grams. Now, if you run in Mizuno shoes, the Wave Rebellion Pro 2, the 3, the Flash, you know, there's a beveled heel and it's very midfoot friendly on the geometry here, the smooth speed assist. This is the Flash 3. I've got this up. Well, the Energy XP also, that foam is dense. It decompresses and compresses nicely. It's very bounding. I love the Pro Low, the Wave Rebellion Pro 3 Low. It's my favorite classic super shoe of the year. I made a video, I'll put it right here. And that foam is very bouncy and I really like that shoe. Very propulsive, but it feels nothing like these two Elite shoes. This is that super light, super critical formulation that these companies have been coming out with, and the shoe is super light and it's got a nice bounce to it. The geometry of the shoe is not midfoot friendly, okay? This reminds me of the Adios Pro 3. It reminds me of the Endorphin Elite version 1 with the late rocker. It's very late, so it's more forefoot friendly than anything else. And the shoe that it reminds me most of, very much so, is gonna be the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris. Yeah, I said that right. So now if you look at the Elite is wider across the forefoot, it's wider in the base, so it has more of the stability elements. Okay, now there's two differences mainly, but the Edge Paris, it comes in at 6.6 ounces, or 20, it's 20 grams heavier. I think it's 188 grams in weight. And also the rocker seems to start a little bit earlier. So I'm very fond of how the shoe feels under my foot. The rocker here feels just slightly later or more aggressive. So at the toe off, that's where the energy is coming from. Whereas in the Metaspeed Edge Paris, I feel the shoe and the energy return comes a lot from the bounce and not so much the snap. It's not a very firm shoe as we do the bend test, scientifically speaking, but the Elite is a little bit more firm. There's a little bit more snap. It's more responsive than it is bouncy. So this shoe feels a little bit more firm. However, if you have a natural cadence where you're landing up on the toes, I think you're going to really like it. That's the sweet spot for this shoe, which is different than other Mizuno shoes that I have run in. I tend to get on very well with Mizuno and with Puma shoes. Those aren't the only shoes I run in. Disclaimer, Mizuno sent me these shoes. Okay, Mount the Coast sends me shoes, Mizuno sends me shoes. No one else sends me shoes. I don't love every Mizuno shoe that I run in. I love the Vomero Plus, the Novo Blast 5. I run in other brands, I run in other shoes. I like plenty of those. And I tell you, I try to keep it honest. So now let's talk about the Pure Gold. This shoe is even lighter. I believe it comes in at 4.9 ounces. This is a scale I'm putting it on, or 140 grams. I've run a few times in this shoe, and I will say that the rocker does feel like it starts a little bit earlier. And so I do get that sweet spot. The shoe feels not as long. Similar to the Edge and the Elite, they kind of feel like blades. And we're looking at 5K, the Pure is a 5K, 10K racer type of shoe. That's like the category you may put it in. The Streak Fly was also for something, point something ounces as well. It's in that category of shoe. And another brand, Adidas, came out with a shoe, a 5K, 10K racer a few years ago, the Takumi Sen. I love the 8, I own many pairs. I didn't get the 9 when it was on sale. The 10 I did own. I put 100 miles on all of those shoes, and I will say the 10 felt like a blade. and the 8 felt like a dagger. And similarly, the Elite feels more like a blade, more threshold, more tempo, and the Pure feels like a dagger. And I think in a way that I'm trying to say is the Elite feels more stride and the Pure feels more cadence. But in the Takumi Sen, it's because the Takumi Sen 10 installed full length carbon rods. So that 10 was a lot stiffer than the 8. Similarly, the Elite is a lot stiffer than the Pure. The Pure's got some of that bend. I love this shoe. I absolutely rip. Now, the thing about what makes the Pure so magical and why I prefer it over the Elite is not just that it works well with my cadence and my natural midfoot strike. It's also that it gives me so much energy return for such a light shoe. Like the Streak Fly 2 is like a track spike, and I have it somewhere. I should have brought it up here. And there's just enough foam, and it's like a track spike for the road. It's spikeless. You're still, as a runner, doing all of the work. I love that shoe. I've put over 60 miles in it. I've been doing all my speed work in it. The only issue that I take with the super light shoes, which I love. I mean, they're like, God bless the technology, shoe technology in 2025. But when a shoe is lighter, there's not as much material in the shoe, and therefore it feels like there's not much to give you, the runner, much energy return back as much. So it's like the more foam they put in there, the more bounce they get, but then you got the added cost of weight. So there's very few shoes. I think Puma's done it best so far with the Nitro Elite version 3 and the Fast R3. Those are super light shoes, but yet they also they give you the feeling, the sensation of going faster. They push you. They're very propulsive. And for me, that's the Pure. The Elite feels it. I feel it too, but I have to be landing in a particular spot at very high speeds with the Elite and conscious of my form. It's not as complimentary as the Pure for me. The Pure is very light. And because it has this much foam, even though it's a 5K, 10K racer, and it's got more of a bounce to it, it feels incredible at high speeds, 5K speeds, mile pace, whatever it is. But it's also enough protection underfoot and wide enough that I plan on taking this also for the half marathon, maybe even the marathon, the Houston Marathon in January. This is an incredible shoe. Now, if I had to compare it to the Puma shoes, it is not as snappy or responsive as the Fast R3. The Fast R3, the Puma Nitro Elite Fast R3 is more aggressive and snappy off the forefoot, but this shoe is bouncier. The shoe keeps me going along and it's so damn light. I love it. So that's the difference between the two shoes. I would say that the Pure is more midfoot friendly on the sweet spot of the shoe, though they look very similar. And the Elite is more like a blade. I made a short and I compared it to the Endorphin Elite. And I do feel like the shoes here are very similar with the late rocker. The Elite is also a firm shoe and it's got the aggressive late rocker as well. So they're very similar, but I would put some more snap and I would put a little bit firmer on the Proto Elite. I will say I'm about to come out with a 100-mile review on this bad boy, the Wave Rebellion Pro 3 Low, which was one of my favorite shoes of the year, but the foam does feel a little bit different. Lastly, I will say there is a Prototype Pro, which to my knowledge is supposed to be a lot more like the Pro Low, but I didn't get that one. I haven't tried it out yet, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know. Subscribe, like, all those things. Thanks for watching. God bless you.